Let's talk about water, the essential stuff that keeps us alive. Every cell in our body depends on it, and yet we rarely stop to think about the choices we make when it comes to what we drink. Water is everywhere, but not all water is the same, and the debate over which kind is best has never been more heated. We're surrounded by choices, supermarket shelves lined with bottles promising purity, health, and taste. There are sparkling waters, mineral waters, spring waters, and even alkaline waters, each with its own claims and price tag. The sheer variety can be overwhelming, and the marketing behind these products is powerful, making us question if we're missing out by sticking to the basics. But why buy bottled water when tap water is so accessible? In many places, tap water is not only safe but also strictly regulated. It's delivered straight to our homes at a fraction of the cost, yet millions of people reach for bottled water every day, sometimes out of habit, sometimes out of concern. For some, it's convenience. For others, it's about taste, or the belief that bottled is safer. There's also the influence of advertising, which often paints bottled water as cleaner, fresher, or more sophisticated. Some people swear they can taste the difference, while others just like the portability. But are these assumptions true? Is that pricey bottle really better than what comes from your tap? Or are we just paying for clever branding and fancy packaging? The truth is, the answer isn't always clear-cut, and there's a lot of misinformation out there. I decided to find out by testing 10 popular bottled water brands. Each one claims to offer something unique, whether it's a special mineral blend, a higher pH, or water sourced from an exotic location. But do these differences really matter, or is it all just marketing hype? We'll examine minerals, pH, and contaminants to see what's really inside. Our tests will look at what you're actually drinking, not just what the label says. We'll break down the science in simple terms so you can understand what makes one water different from another, and whether those differences are worth the price. The goal: give you the facts so you can make an informed choice. Whether you're concerned about health, taste, or just want to save money, understanding what's in your water is the first step. We'll also touch on environmental impacts like plastic waste and how your choices affect more than just your wallet. By the end, you'll know exactly what you're paying for, and if it's worth it, you'll be able to look past the marketing and make a decision that's right for you and your family based on real data and not just hype. So grab a glass and let's dive into the world of bottled water. Whether you're a tap water loyalist or a bottled water enthusiast, you might be surprised by what we discover together. Before we even twist open a bottle, let's pause and talk about what really matters when it comes to water. With so many brands and types on the shelves, it's easy to assume all bottled water is the same. But is it? What are we actually drinking, and what should we be looking for when we pick up a bottle? It's not just about how clear the water looks. What's dissolved inside tells the real story. Even the clearest water can contain a cocktail of minerals, salts, and sometimes even contaminants that you can't see with the naked eye. To get to the bottom of what's really in each bottle, we used a combination of digital meters and test strips. These tools help us measure a range of key indicators that reveal the true quality of the water. First up is Total Dissolved Solids, or TDS. This measures the amount of minerals and salts dissolved in the water, things like calcium, magnesium, sodium, and potassium. TDS gives water its unique character and can even hint at its source. Water with low TDS often tastes flat or bland, while high TDS can make water taste salty, metallic, or even bitter. The right balance can make a huge difference in how refreshing or enjoyable your water is. Next, we look at pH, a scale that runs from 0 to 14, with 7 being perfectly neutral. Most bottled waters fall somewhere between slightly acidic and slightly alkaline, but some brands advertise high pH for supposed health benefits. You've probably seen bottles boasting about being alkaline or having a high pH, but does that really make a difference for your health, or is it just clever marketing? We're putting those claims to the test. We also checked for water hardness, which is mainly the amount of calcium and magnesium present. Hardness affects not just taste, but also how water interacts with your body and even your appliances at home. We measured alkalinity too, which tells us how well the water can resist changes in pH, a kind of natural buffering system. Sulfates are another important factor. They can influence the taste, sometimes giving water a slightly bitter or medicinal flavor. We also looked at sodium chloride, or common salt, which can sneak into bottled water and affect both taste and health. Of course, safety is just as important as taste. That's why we tested for contaminants like lead, chlorine, and nitrates. Substances that can be harmful even in small amounts. These are the things you definitely don't want in your daily drink. Each of these tests gives us a piece of the puzzle. When we put them all together, we get a much clearer picture of what's really inside each bottle. We're searching for more than just what's healthy. We want to know what actually tastes good and what's just marketing hype. Our panel of testers and lab results will help us separate fact from fiction. By the end of this, you'll know exactly what's in your bottle, and you'll be able to make a more informed choice the next time you're in the water aisle. So let's dive into the science, break down the numbers, and see what sets each brand apart. It's time to see how these waters stack up, and which ones truly deserve a spot in your fridge. Meet our 10 contenders, bottled waters you'll find everywhere in New Zealand. We've got purified waters like Aquafina, Dasani, Smart Water, Nestle Pure Life, and Walmart Great Value. These start as tap water, then get filtered and sometimes have minerals added back. Then there are the spring waters, Evian, Fiji, Crystal Geyser, and Zephyrhills, each boasting unique mineral profiles from their natural sources. Finally, Essentia, which claims to be ionized and highly alkaline. Each brand has its own story and loyal fans. Purified waters promise consistency. Spring waters sell their natural origins. Essentia markets its high pH. We're putting all of them to the test. Which will come out on top for taste, health, and value? Let's find out. The testing begins now. First up, let's talk about total dissolved solids, or TDS. TDS is a measure of the combined content of all inorganic and organic substances contained in a liquid, in this case, water. It's a quick way to get a sense of how many minerals are present in your drink, and it can have a big impact on both taste and health benefits. The higher the TDS, the more minerals you're getting with every sip. When we tested popular purified waters like Aquafina, Dasani, Smart Water, Walmart, and Nestle Pure Life, the results were clear. These brands had very low TDS readings, meaning they contain almost no minerals at all. These waters go through extensive purification processes like reverse osmosis or distillation, which strip out nearly everything except pure H2O. The result? You get water that's extremely clean and consistent from bottle to bottle, but it also means the flavor is almost non-existent. For some, that's perfect, especially if you want your water to taste as neutral as possible, or if you're using it for brewing coffee or tea where you don't want the water to interfere with the taste. Essentia, on the other hand, is a bit different. It's purified, but then electrolytes are added back in, which bumps up the TDS to a moderate level. This gives Essentia a slightly more robust taste compared to other purified waters, and some people find it more refreshing or satisfying as a result. When we move to spring waters, the story changes. Crystal Geyser and even my own tap water showed moderate TDS levels, meaning they contain a fair amount of naturally occurring minerals. These minerals can include calcium, magnesium, and potassium, which not only add subtle flavors but can also contribute to your daily mineral intake. Then there are brands like Fiji and Zephyrhills, which had noticeably higher TDS readings. This translates to a richer, more complex taste profile. Some describe it as smoother or even slightly sweet. If you're looking for water that actually tastes like something, these are great options. At the top of the mineral chart is Evian. Its water travels through glacial sands and rocks for years, picking up a unique blend of minerals along the way. This gives Evian the highest TDS of all the waters we tested, and a distinct, almost creamy taste that many people love. So, if you want water that's as close to pure H2O as possible, tasteless, odorless, and perfect for those who dislike any mineral aftertaste, stick with low TDS purified brands. They're reliable, predictable, and ideal for people who just want hydration without any extra flavors. But if you crave a more mineral-rich, flavorful sip, spring waters like Evian, Fiji, and Zephyrhills are your best bet. Not only do they offer a more interesting taste, but they also provide trace minerals that can be beneficial for your body. Ultimately, the TDS numbers reveal the real difference between pure and natural waters. Pure waters are stripped down to the basics, while natural spring waters bring a unique mineral fingerprint from their source. In the end, it all comes down to your personal taste preference. Do you want your water to be a blank canvas? Or do you enjoy a little character in every sip? The choice is yours. Next, let's see how these waters stack up when it comes to pH. Next, the pH test, where wellness trends meet reality. Most brands, especially purified ones, were slightly acidic to neutral. Fiji was perfectly balanced. Crystal Geyser and Evian were gently alkaline thanks to natural minerals. Essentia, despite its high alkaline claims, tested only neutral in our strips. Marketing doesn't always match the science. If you want real alkalinity, spring water is your best bet. The pH hype, mostly just that. Let's dig into hardness, alkalinity, and sulfates, factors that shape taste and stability. Most brands, both Purified and Spring, had moderate hardness, pleasant for most people. Essentia and Crystal Geyser were softer, giving a smoother mouthfeel. Purified waters had low alkalinity, meaning their pH can shift easily. Spring waters were naturally stable with high alkalinity. Sulfate levels were the shocker. Evian and Fiji were low, but many brands, Purified and Spring, had very high sulfates, which can affect taste. High sulfates are a red flag for aftertaste. The chemistry behind each bottle is more complex than the label suggests. Taste, stability, and even health can vary widely. Not all pure waters are created equal. Let's check for the stuff we don't want. Now for sodium and contaminants, the things you don't want in your water. All brands had very low sodium chloride, so no hidden salt bombs here. We screened for heavy metals, chlorine, and nitrates. Every brand passed with flying colors, no dangerous contaminants detected. Bottled water is safe, whether Purified or Spring. The real differences are in taste and mineral content, not safety. You can trust what's in the bottle. Time to compare bottled water to the real competition, my own tap water. My tap water's TDS, pH, and hardness were right in the middle of the bottled pack. Alkalinity was strong and safety was excellent. No lead, minimal sodium, and only a trace of chlorine. The only difference? A faint chlorine taste and added fluoride. Surprisingly, sulfate levels were high, just like in many bottled brands. Tap water isn't the underdog it's made out to be. In many ways it matches or beats bottled water. The main advantage of bottled? No chlorine taste and more variety. Don't underestimate your tap. Sometimes the best water is already at home. So what's the bottom line? Bottled water isn't one thing. It ranges from ultra pure to mineral rich. There's no single best water. It depends on your taste, health goals, and budget. Purified brands are clean but bland. Spring waters offer flavor and natural minerals. Be skeptical of alkaline claims. Our tests didn't back them up. For taste and quality, spring waters like Evian and Fiji stand out, but they cost more. Tap water is often just as good, especially if you don't mind a hint of chlorine. Get your tap water tested. If it's safe, use a reusable bottle and save money. If you buy bottled, choose a spring water for real character. The best water? The one that fits your needs and values.